gosh. It's gonna be fun. That's all I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so hi. This is my amazing friend Bree. Oh my gosh. Bree is like the most amazing. Look at how beautiful she looks. I was just like, you're glowing over there and you're pretty and you're pink.
It's
and
my Mary Kay.
Well, yes, of course. What do they say? It's like Mary Kay on the outside and like joy on the inside, something like that. I don't know. Something like that. But I've always just been so drawn to your energy, Bree. We met, I don't know, I can't even, it's at least been 3 years ago, maybe more. I remember there was recently a memory on Facebook that I had posted of you. I was like, oh my gosh, Bree, you're in the Applause magazine. And I think that was at least 3 or 4 years ago. So we've known each other for a bit. And we got to meet through a really cool Mary Kay event and that I love, West Coast Summit, which I've missed. Yeah. You know, I didn't get to go this year because of all the things. But anyways, that's really beyond the point. I'm just excited that you're with me. I love doing peek. It's a really hard thing to say. Peek into pink.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, peek into pink, and we do try to do it once a month. So it's just an honor to have you. So yay!
Thanks for having me on your pink talk show.
I know. Peek into pink. It's so, and you're wearing pink. How appropriate. So I love it. So I just want everyone to meet you. So first, just tell everyone a little bit about you and whatever you want to share, Bree.
Well, I'm here in Southern California. I'm in a suburb of Los Angeles called Stevenson Ranch, the place that catches on fire every single year. That's us.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I know. At least we're like through fire season, so we're excited about that. I have 4 kids. My adult son is married, so I got a new daughter in love this year in February. Right before quarantine, we had a big wedding in the yard. It was awesome. And then quarantine has hit. So we haven't got to do nearly all the things we thought we'd get to do. We thought we would have, me and my husband have built-in double dates, but that's not quite happened yet. I have 3 other children, 16, and my 13-year-old son will be 14 tomorrow. He'll be 14 tomorrow. And then I have a 9-year-old daughter. So all boys, and then my little girl who just turned 9 a couple weeks ago. Okay. And we've got 3 dogs, 3 cats. What else? Before Mary Kay, I was a civil litigation and family law paralegal. And I've been doing Mary Kay as my full-time job. Next month will be 17 years since I retired from the legal field. I've been doing this full-time. So I've been doing this more than I've done anything else in my life.
I know. That's a connection we have, Bree. So you started Mary Kay 17 years ago, or you full-time?
I quit my job and went full-time Mary Kay 17 years ago.
So when did you
start it? 20 years ago.
20. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you said that, but I think I was looking to comment or distracted. So 20 years in, 17 full-time. Okay. Perfect. And 4 kids. I don't know how I thought you only had 3. I must have seen an old picture and one of them. Where's the girl? But maybe that was, who knows? It's fine. Okay. So paralegal. And so tell everybody a little bit about, like, I know it was 20 years ago, but and 20 years ago, life was different. You probably didn't have near as many kids and life was different. But back then, like, what was it that really drew you in, that you're like, oh my gosh. Now, wait, let me just take I get ahead of myself. We're going to answer the question. But if you're watching live and you have questions, you get to comment for a giveaway. So if you're a guest, then
we like giveaways.
Yes, we love to give away free things. And if it's only consultants, I can't give away my free things to consultants. So if you are a guest, I need to know who you are. I need to know something about you. So ask a question so Bree can answer it. That's the whole point. Comment on our stream. Okay, now you can tell us a little bit about back when you started, what it was that brought you in, or what attracted you to Mary Kay.
I always wish I had some awesome answer. And in hindsight, if you are watching today and you are a guest and you're thinking, I will never do Mary Kay, just pretend it's fast forward 20 years from now. You want to have something awesome to say about the moment you decided to say yes. Just prepare in case, because I never thought 20 years ago when I signed that agreement that I'd be telling anybody about why I started Mary Kay. Otherwise, I would have had something awesome happen. But I really did it because I needed friends, and they said I did my product at 50%. Like, there was nothing grand. I had a real job. Wasn't going to do Mary Kay. I was super, super shy. And she told me that I could buy a kit for for $100. And in 1 year, if I did everything she told me to do, I'd be less shy. She didn't even tell me I'd like be outgoing. She just said I'd be less shy. That was my big lofty goal, to use Mary Kay as a self-improvement course. It's obviously worked. So $100 well spent.
Heck yeah, for us to just be like, I'm like, Bree, let's do this live. And I didn't give her like any questions. I said, let's just do it. And like, we're showing up here. There's no agenda, no script, no prompting.
No. In fact, one time I was speaking at an event. We were the #1 unit at an event, and I got to speak. And like, my sister happened to be down in San Diego visiting, so she snuck into the back of the auditorium, and she's eating pizza. There was no food at this event, so she clearly left at some point in my speech and bought food and came back in the hotel or something. And like, as I was getting off, you know, you're taking pictures of people, you're doing all that, and she's like, you're kind of good at this, huh? She's eating the pizza. Like, because my family still to this day thinks it's so crazy that I'm the one who does Mary Kay, because it's so far. I didn't wear any makeup. I used Irish Spring on my body, Irish Spring on my face, and Vaseline on my lips. So like, there was no reason I should say yes to this opportunity.
Irish Spring. Oh my gosh. That's
not even on the Lever 2000. Sometimes I would splurge to get Lever 2000 because my face is one of my 2000 body parts. I figured it would work.
Yeah, true. But thank God your face got some Mary Kay somewhere along the way, because you wanted to be less shy. That's always but you know, I remember saying that to someone along the way. I remember her name too. I won't mention it just in case it embarrasses her, but I remember talking to a gal one time, and that was her one excuse to not get started with Mary Kay. She's like, I'm just not the person that talks to other people. I'm not the kind of person that could speak to somebody in a mall or whatever. And it took all I had. I wanted to be really honest. And so all I did was I said, do you like that about yourself? And she was like, I mean, I almost felt like, oh my gosh, is she going to be offended? Because this is a client, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no. I said, okay. So if you did Mary Kay, you're a lot less shy. Do you want to be better? And she was like, you know what? You're right. And she decided to start. So I feel like
it works though, because if you said, Brianna, one day you'll be speaking in front of 2,500 people in an auditorium, I would have said that I don't want to do it.
Right.
But do you like it about yourself? Like, I always say, I wasn't the cute shy, like the girls who are like, oh my God, I'm so shy. Like, I was painfully shy. There was nothing cute about it. And so you don't like that about yourself, but you just don't know how to get there. And so truly, I wasn't the sales type. I was really shy. I didn't wear makeup. There were so many reasons, but Mary Kay, I'm not shy anymore. I do know how to wear makeup. And I learned you don't have to be the sales type to do this. I learned if you are a genuine person and you honestly like the product, then it's just like telling your girlfriend about the movie you saw that you think she should watch.
Yes. And it always shocks me. So Bree, today I was at the children's hospital with my son, and someone came in to test him to see if he has asthma. And this man is, I don't know what he is. He's a doctor, probably. I don't know. But he was talking to me about cars, because my son's like, oh, there's 2 BMWs. And I was like, so we started talking about Mary Kay Cadillacs and cars. And he's like, oh, I just can never be a salesperson. You know, that's why I like to do what I do. He said, because I help people. And I was like, that's so funny, because so many people look at our job, women and men, and they're like, oh, I don't like to sell things. I'm not a salesperson. And when I have new consultants that work with me, Bree, that the ones that say that, oh, I'm not a salesperson, I'm like, good, because nobody wants to be sold. I feel like you said, we just want to help. I love serving women and giving them confidence. And if you can help them have less wrinkles or less acne or a cute contour, like, that's going to make them feel more confident. And our job's easy. If they just put the product on their face, you know, it's easy.
This is what I say. I'll twist someone's arm to make them try the product. I'll lift a finger to make them buy a single thing.
There you go. Can you just put this on your face? Yeah, then that's where I love.
We're going to have a good time at the end of this. Even if you buy nothing, we're going to be friends.
And how many times do people, they can't resist because the sample and the way their skin feels, and they're like, oh my gosh, feels so good. Okay, so that's why you started. Then what could have held you back when you started?
At that season, I was a paralegal, but my son had just been born. He was only 4 months old when I went to that Mary Kay party and got the facial. And we had made the decision that I would take the first year of his life off because my husband was a Marine. So we moved around and we had moved out of state. We knew nobody. And so I didn't want to put him in a daycare where with strangers and he couldn't talk yet. And so we made the decision for at least the first year I would take time off. So because of that, our income was very limited. And so on top of the being shy and not being a salesperson, I didn't know anybody in the whole town except the woman who invited me to the party. She was clearly not going to buy anything from me. Right. And I didn't have the $100. You know, my husband, did the interview with the lady because she promised me a free eyeshadow. Mm-hmm. And when we were done, I had 2 pages on an 8x14 yellow legal pad and literally was like, okay, next question, and had my glasses and then would check off and read the questions. Later, I found out I scared her to death by doing that. And then when I flipped the page and went on to page number 2, I kept her there for almost 2 hours. And at the end, she was like, any reason I get started? And I was like, I don't have $100. And she said, how long do you want to live that way?
Wow.
That's kind of rude, but true. So for me, it was one of those things where I didn't want $100 to feel like $1,000 or $10,000. And she said, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Would you be? And that's when she said, would you be willing to pay $100 for a self-improvement course if in 1 year I promise you'd be less shy? And I was like, okay, if she's crazy enough to think she can train me. So I had every excuse. I was busy. I didn't have the money. I wasn't a sales type. I was shy. I didn't wear makeup, but I am willing to learn. And I do like people. Just because someone's shy doesn't mean that they don't. I really genuinely love people. And so for me, I thought, well, if I can just do one-on-one appointments, then I'd be good. I could try that. So all the reasons that almost held me back are the reasons that I love it so much now.
Yeah. The whole money thing. I love that. And you reminded me of something that I think I was really attracted to when I met Betsy. And Betsy was the director who I talked to when I decided to start my business. I was in no way, shape, or form interested. I have a background in, I have a degree in Spanish and international economics, and I was working in corporate. So for me, it was just doing someone a favor. My cousin was earning a Mary Kay car. She didn't want me. She was like, I know you'd probably never sign up, but just help me learn. And again, I love to help people. So she bribed me, yes, with a free lip gloss.
We're not a bribery, Mary Kay.
You're a nice person and you get a free lip gloss for helping. So I said, for sure, I'll help you. But yeah, you're right. I'll never sell Mary Kay. I have like my thing. I was kind of a snob about it. But what I remember is the influence of that director. Her director was the one doing the call. And at the end of the call, I was like, this is amazing. It sounds great. Sounds too good to be true. You're telling me I can work less hours and make more money. All that's great. Call me back when I'm pregnant. I literally said that because I was working full time in school to get my master's degree, and I had a life. I was like, I don't have time for this thing now, but call me back when I'm pregnant. That's what a 23-year-old says that's never had babies. Like, you don't start something once you're pregnant, right? But what I loved about her influence was she didn't just say, okay, bye. Like she spoke that truth, just like you said that director did to you that day. She said, I don't have kids, but I can imagine that when you have kids, when you find out you're pregnant, you don't have that much time and you really don't know what kind of pregnancy you might have. It could be bed rest. It could be lots of sickness. And I would not want you to have the stress of trying to build a business in about 7 months that needs to support you. She's like, so even if you just have an hour a day, an hour a week, or an hour a month, it is something to get you closer. And then and I was like, oh, you're so much smarter than me. But I think one of the things I loved about and why I wanted to become a sales director in the company, not just a beauty consultant, was because I respected that. I loved that she spoke up and didn't just say, okay, bye-bye. Like she had the boldness to say what that woman said to you and to speak and to say like you said, ouch. But she did it in love. She was giving you a solution. She wasn't just saying something that hurt your feelings slightly so that you could walk away and be like, whatever, the mean girl.
They're problem solvers.
Yes.
Problem solvers.
She's asking you the question to bring you to a point where you're like, ouch, but I can do something about that. And that's what I think encapsulates the Mary Kay spirit. Mary Kay as a leader was what I call a velvet hammer. And that's a velvet hammer moment. Like people call her a velvet hammer because she had the way to bring it to you, but you were like, oh, but she loves me. So, I tell you the truth, even though that hurts, And my offspring, Melissa's on here. She just debuted.
Hey, Melissa. I remember her from Synergy.
She just debuted, and she'll say that all the time. She's like, Kim, a lot of times hurts my feelings with it. She says, but I know she loves me, and she says it in a way that I know she's right. And but that's what I love about Mary Kay's. I've never had women in my life that cared enough to tell me the truth like that. And now I do. And I think that's just a very valuable thing. The older we get, we can't see our blind sides. We need those women, Okay, so we know why you started. We know what could have stopped you. Oh, pandemic. Talk to me about the pandemic in marriage. We've been here a long time.
Yeah, we're both in California.
We've been here a long time, friend. Me 17 years, you 20 years. Like, we've never seen anything like this pandemic. So why do you think it's actually making a difference, Mary Kay, and the pandemic? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
When this first hit, it was like all of us. We didn't know, like, are we going to be able to work anymore? We can't do in-person appointments and parties, and how are we going to get our product to our customers, and all the questions that everybody kind of had when this started. And so I leaned back into my training. I knew after doing all those family law cases that when people are in crisis, one of the things they need is consistency and connection. And so I literally just spent the first couple of weeks of this pandemic calling customers, calling consultants, asking, how are they doing? Do they need toilet paper? I mean, literally, those are my two questions. How are you doing? Are you safe? Do you need toilet paper? What do you need? It wasn't about products. It wasn't about ordering. It wasn't about any of those things. And what I found was we all needed a healthy distraction in the beginning. And so I was booking lots of Zoom parties. We've been using Zoom for 6-7 years. I don't know how many years we've been using it at Mary Kay. So it wasn't an unfamiliar platform for us. And I've been doing video interviews through Facebook Messenger since they've had video, and Instagram video appointments. I used to use Skype back in the day. So it wasn't an unfamiliar technology to me. And so I thought, how can we use this? And what's happened is now we went from needing a healthy distraction, although this week I think we all need healthy distractions too, but we went from healthy distraction to creating a source of connection. So I'm a homeschool mom too. And one of the things I learned with boys in homeschool is girls, you sit them down over coffee or put some Barbies on the floor and they are just chatting and they're best friends in an hour. And boys need activities to bring them together. That's why men watch sports. That's why they play a game. And so what I found was they needed a reason to get together. If your guests on here and your family Zooms were like our family Zooms at the beginning of this, it was like, hey, after 5 minutes, there was nothing to talk about because nobody was doing anything, going anywhere, nothing was happening. And so, you know what? We need activity-based play. And that's what we provide. I get to gather families all over the country, send them samples. We put on masks. They make fun of each other. They're laughing at how horrible the sister did the smoky eye and the mom put the wrong thing on her face. And then I get off and they get to stay on the Zoom and have a good time. And so they were able to do something that connected to them and brings them together. And then we're still all making money. They're able to get products that make them feel good. They can still get things that they want and need and not feel like they're doing without. I get new customers. Everybody makes new friends, and they get to connect with old friends from college in Boston and Florida and Arizona. We're doing a party in 6 different bathrooms across the country. So I think we're more relevant now than ever. And we get to do it while, having dinner on the stove behind me and kids at home and quarantining with everybody. We're juggling all the same things that everybody else is, but we're able to continue to add income to our households too.
Yep, absolutely. And I think one of the things I notice as a leader is, I think, like you said, when crisis happens, that is when I noticed that in my life, that when crisis happens in my life, that's actually when I have my best years in Mary Kay. And so I'm like, get ready. This is going to be the year we earn the trip because I'm going to have a double mastectomy. I'm going through a divorce, like all the things, and I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be the year because there's crisis. And that's what happened. When the pandemic hit, I mean, I was scared for a minute, but the leadership I was looking to, my Mary Kay Nationals were on it with the resources and the pivot. And then I think what happened was, at least for me, Bree, before the pandemic, there was like a Mary Kay way. And you had to do it this way. You got to do the party and they have to do it the perfect way. And you're not supposed to do this. You need to use the flip chart. You don't need to use the flip chart. Like there was all these details that were so like you had to do it, right? And you had to wear a skirt. You had to, all these things, right? And then I think with the pandemic, it just threw everything out the window. And then number one, we had to use our own resourcefulness. And since nobody had the perfect way yet, we just had to figure it out with our own units and our own teams and our own client base and our, like you said, you called to find out if people needed toilet paper. I called people too. I was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to get on the phone. What do you need? And so I think that created this sense of excitement. Like, well, it's not pandemic anymore. It's different. So we have to use our ingenuity or whatever that word is. Like we have to be resourceful. And so I think that made me as a leader more passionate. And truth be told, and this my unit will also attest to this, I think they were on Facebook scrolling a lot before the pandemic. And I wasn't on Facebook because I like to be with people. And once I was like, I got to be on Facebook, then they saw their leader more. And so they're going to follow their leader more because they're on Facebook and now I'm on Facebook. So I think that there was just a lot that played into that for our unit. Because our unit, it doubled during the pandemic. Everything doubled. We had an offspring. It's crazy. It's crazy awesome.
I love it. You have been such an inspiration to all of us, Kim, with everything you're going through. And for your unit finishing the Cadillac Plus, which is the highest level of Cadillac for sales directors during all of this, just shows who you are as a leader. It really does. And who your people are, who your unit is, the type of consultants that they are, that they've made more connections. They've loved on more people through this, which has created the swell that you're seeing right now.
Thank you. Thank you. The book I just finished, I'm a huge book person, is The Think Like a Monk. Do you know Jay Shetty?
Mm-mm.
Oh my gosh. He has this book called Think Like a Monk. And he talks about that. Like when you've reached a success or you've reached to a place of like that, like earning the Cadillac, that you would definitely appreciate the hard work that went into it. And you would appreciate the effort and skills. And you would also say, but who taught me those skills? And it's in a chapter that's about ego, because I think a lot of times when people become successful, they also become egotistical. I don't know if you've seen that around you before, but I've seen that before with people that, achieve things and they're like, I don't want to be with that person. They're so mean. And he just says to bring that back to who taught you that skill? Who taught you that skill? I've had more than you right now tell me, like, I don't even know how you're doing this, Kim. Like, how are you not like crying or a piece of like, how are you not handling it? And I said, it's a product of the environment that I've decided to plant myself in for the last 17 years. And when you hang out with people that think different and you get to share space with someone like Bree, who is going to, breathe belief into you and say, like, it's the culture that I'm in. And I've learned these skills from sister directors and nationals and books and all the things, So we can see your comments. Beautiful. Lisa's like, can you see your comments? But I didn't see any questions. So that's why I wasn't really
no questions yet. I've been watching. And I know it looks like, so this is mirrored. So when I'm looking at you, it looks like I'm looking this way. But when I'm looking at the comments, it's, but I've been watching to make sure we catch all the questions.
I'm on this side. So I think whenever I'm looking at you or the comments, it might look like both. But I'm like, wait, where am I looking? What am I doing? Oh my gosh. Well, we have like 5 minutes left. I try to keep it short and sweet. I want to know I think everyone that's been watching live right now, we're of course recording this, so it's going to be played back for our guests, because we do have a unit goal to get 100 views and 100 surveys. Like you mentioned, I was like, we are going to do this. If there are any guests on that have questions, let us know. Just say, I'm a guest. So after the pandemic, do you think they will give us rules again? What does that mean? What kind of rules? Oh, I think
she's saying how we were more rigid. Let's be clear. The company didn't give us those rules. We put them on ourselves. We're leaders and we're leader women and we like to be bossy. And so we make our own rules and we made it like it needs to be this way to be successful. This is how you define how to be successful. And truly, the company has been trying to pull us in to social media and pull us into the virtual for a while. And we fought it because we were like, no, we have to be in person and make connections and love on people. And so they're so thrilled and giving us so many tools and apps and support because they have been waiting for us. So when this pandemic hit, they didn't have to create new apps. They already had them there. We just hadn't been using them for the last 2 years. So the company doesn't impose any rules. That is us. And I think now that we've seen the light, we will keep walking towards the light.
And it's so funny. I don't know if you've had this happen, Bree, with your unit where they were used to that, right? So anyone that's been with me for longer than the pandemic is like, well, but what do I do? I'm like, I don't know. There's like 2,000 ideas. Go do one. And they're like, but what do I do? And I'm like, don't ask me exactly what to do. Just like, go have fun. And so I think that's the dilemma with some of my old school beauty consultants is they're still like, what do I do? But my new ones, like, oh my gosh, the ones that are watching, a lot of them are brand new. Like Elisa's brand new, Francine's brand new, Patty's brand new. They all started in the pandemic and they're killing it. Why? Because it's all they've ever known. It's all they've ever known.
Instead of going in, usually, what I love about Mary Kay is we can provide structure for those who want and desire structure. So if you want stability, a structure, a proven path, we have that. We are a company that's family owned, 57 years, family owned, debt free company. We have a proven path. And now 7.5, 8 months deep into this, we even have a proven track record of how to teach you how to run this way. But now we also have the freedom. If you're the type of person, you're like, I don't need a path, I blaze my own trail. You have the freedom to do that too. So I love that we can provide safety and stability and security for those who want that. But we also, there's so much wiggle room for creativity and ingenuity and all the other things that you mentioned, being resourceful, tapping into your imagination and how big this can be.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. I'm just thinking of it on the cuff. So hopefully you'll be able to answer it on the cuff. Is this, what is the one thing that you gained from your Mary Kay business that you were like, I had no idea that that was going to be part of the equation? Like it's like a surprise.
Oh my gosh, everything. Because I had such low expectations. I just wanted to be less shy. So becoming debt free in the last 15 years, last 15 years, having no credit card debt, no student loan debt, being able to pay that all off. That's been huge for our family. Driving a free car for the last 17 years has been huge for our family. That's added income back that we couldn't. Being able to travel and go spend 2 weeks in France, that was all paid for by Mary Kay. Never saw that. All the trips we've done, the cruise to the Bahamas, being able to have a platform to teach. I didn't realize that one of the things that would be so fulfilling is being able to teach other women, whether I'm teaching someone how to wash their face or teaching a room full of entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, and being able to coach them. And so I think there's so much. Some of my favorite women, best mentors have come from this business that I would have never met. It has been such a safe place for me to grow up. I started when I was 23 and I, didn't go all in. It took me 2.5 years before I made this my real gig. But over the last 20 years, I've had incredible women reach down and pull me to where they are. And I think so different than most of the people I grew up with because of this environment. I don't think in a box. I think outside of all the parameters of what life is supposed to look like and get to teach other women to design their life too. I mean, I literally can't pick one thing. I can't.
I know. It's hard. I completely agree with you. It's like all the things that you said. Yes. I think it really just changes all that because it's growth. It's growth as a person and all the tangible things are great. But I think it just changes the way you see the world and
how we see ourselves. I was the type of person, you get in an elevator with me. And I remember one specific time a guy got in an elevator and he complimented me. And I remember disqualifying everything from my hair to my outfit. It's like when someone says, oh, I look just, oh, thanks. But, blah, 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 blah. And now I said, I knew I made that transition when I don't even wait for people to compliment. I could walk by a mirror and be like, looking good today. Like that confidence that is so hard to teach another woman, but you really get it through osmosis and through setting yourself up for small wins that turn into bigger wins that build that inner confidence too. that's just, I mean, that's priceless, because I look at my feisty, sassy daughter, and she's so different than who I was growing up. And I'm so proud of the woman that she's going to become, because she is a born leader, and she is so much better than who I was. And isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want for our kids? That they have more, but also are more at a higher, they operate at a higher level than we are. And we can't pass on what we don't possess ourselves first. So I'm so grateful that I got all this worked out. So by the time my kids were old enough to really become the young adults that they are, I can see so much of how Mary Kay has been infused in their lives and shaped who they have become too.
Yeah. And I think that women, especially, that's what we always say is the most important thing, is our family and our influence. And so instead, and this is what I'll say, I don't think she was a natural born leader. I think she's born into a Mary Kay house. And so she became a leader because of you, woman. I always say that. I'm like, it's because of you. Because mama, I mean, what is it? I've seen that meme or that thing where it's like, got this woman, she's like, maybe strong women, maybe
we beat them, maybe raise them.
Like, that's why she's a leader, because she's got mama. Oh, I just love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for asking me. What a privilege. You could have asked anybody. I appreciate you so much, Kim. And putting up with me the last week, because I know I have a million questions on stuff. Because I'm like, okay, I need to take notes. And you're like, we're not going to do notes. We're just going to chat live on YouTube. I'm like,
for everyone to see.
Horrible stage fright.
Well, that's how I always do things. I'm like, let's just do it. Like, we've been doing this for long enough. We should be able to know. But
as a recovering shy person, I have horrible stage fright. Like, I love notes and agendas and itineraries.
Well, it's a compliment that you did this with me without an agenda.
I love it. You're stretching me. I love it. You're stretching me.
It's great. Well, thank you so much, Bree. I love you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. And to our guests watching, it's $30 this month to join Mary Kay. I hope that you guys make the decision to be part of this with us. We do have a lot of fun. And Kimberly and I happened to sit next to each other several years ago at a Mary Kay event. We would have never known each other. And I have just so enjoyed getting to know you and some of your unit members, Teresa and her daughter, over the years because of this business. I'm so grateful. So I hope you make the decision to say yes. It takes about 30 seconds to spend $30, you guys. 2 or 3 clicks on Amazon, and you spent more than $30 anyway. Just free shipping on something. So might as well give this a shot and see where it lands you. Thank you so much for having me, Kimberly. I appreciate you.
Oh my gosh, that was perfect. Thank you. You are amazing.